Ahoy!
Who's ranked, who's real, who's built to last, who got exposed, who's moving fast. From the HBCU pride to the Power 5, let's we talk football every week, every night. Fans in the stands, drums on go. Lights on bright and the crowd moves slow. Big hits, ball picks, everybody knows. Daniel Roundtree got the football show.
Hi, I'm Daniel Roundtree. This is the Daniel Roundtree College Football Show. Today's a new day, which means it's a good day to talk college football. And listen, I'm going to get right into it. Today, we are going to be talking about the top 5 college football coaches. Listen, this is an exclusive list. You got to really think about it, right? So when we talk top 5 coaches, there's over 129 college coaches at the Division I level. So in order to make a top 5 list, I think it's really important. We got to have some type of criteria. And when we talk criteria, I see so many of these lists. And when you look at these lists, I feel too many people will include coaches in this list that have a long coaching tenure, coaches who have the best winning record or the most conference titles, or guys who have just been doing it a really long time. Of course, they're going to have a lot of wins if they're any good, right? That's not going to happen on my list. No, sir, not today. This list absolutely has recency bias. We are talking the top 5 college football coaches that I think will continue to win over the next 5 to 10 years. And the criteria stops right at 2022. From 2022 to 2026, which coaches are projected to be the best coaches, maybe build their own dynasty. A lot of people say dynasties are kind of dead in the new NIL era of college football. So if not a dynasty, let's just say a force, a powerhouse. These 5 coaches are absolutely it. And I think it's also important to note that all 5 of these coaches have either won national championships or been to the dance. They've been to the national championship. Before we jump right into the top 5, hey, I want to thank you. Thank you for watching this video. If you like what you see, I want you to go ahead and consider subscribing, like this video, because there's more content just like this coming your way. So before we get into the top 5, I got to do an honorable mention category. It's hard to pick just 5. There's so many good college football coaches. So with honorable mention, these are coaches that maybe haven't been to the national championship. They have been to the playoffs. They're really good coaches. They have a great upward trajectory, but they just aren't quite yet at the point of these other 5 coaches. So starting in no particular order, we have to start with Dan Lanning over at Oregon. So Lieutenant Dan, as I like to call him, has been 48-8 at Oregon. He's had 12 plus wins over the last 3 seasons. Lieutenant Dan has Oregon winning at a high level, and they're going to keep doing it as long as he's there. He's had the stigma of can he win the big game? Hey, at the end of the day, if you're constantly winning 12 games or more every single year, you're getting to the playoff consistently, you're playing 4 titles within your conference, that's a great coach. So when we talk Dan Lanning, he won the Big Ten title in 2024. He was the runner-up, or they got to the Big Ten title in 2023. Great season last year. The trajectory is definitely, the moon for Dan Lanning. They got to win the big games, but when you're winning Big Ten titles and you're competing at the highest level, how could you not mention them as honorable mention? They just haven't been to a national championship. That's why they can't make my top 5. Next on the honorable mention list, again, this is in no particular order. We have to mention Steve Sarkisian out there in Texas. Listen, Sark the Shark is doing his thing in Texas. Sark has been 43-13 in his tenure at Texas over the last 4 years. Remember, we're stopping at 2022. So Sark has also had 10 plus wins over the last 3 seasons. His last year, or Texas's last year in the Big 12, Texas did win the Big 12 title. They beat Oklahoma State. And then they also played for an SEC title in 2024, where Texas almost beat Georgia. Really good game. They did end up making it to the playoffs. So you got to mention Steve. When we talk Sark, they're doing great things in recruiting. So is Dan Lanning. From a recruit standpoint, they're getting guys from all over, not just the state of Texas, which is one of the top 3. You always hear Texas, Florida, California when we talk recruiting hotbeds. Listen, Sark is going out to Florida. Sark is going out to Alabama, Mississippi. He's getting guys everywhere, so he definitely has Texas humming. The next on the honorable mention list, again, this is in no particular order. They just didn't make the top 5. We have to talk about the Lane train, Lane Kiffin, down there in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So Lane went 40-11 over the last 4 seasons at Ole Miss. He's had 10 plus wins over the last 3 seasons. You absolutely, when you talk about Lane, you gotta call Lane the Lane train transfer portal king, because they've had top 5 portal classes almost his entire tenure at Ole Miss. He might not be the best at high school recruiting, but when it comes to getting guys and getting them in his program that have already played and produced at other places, Lane is the transfer portal king. That's a big reason why they've been able to compete at such a high level. You gotta mention the Lane train when we talk top coaches in college football. He just hasn't been to a championship. He hasn't gone deep in the playoffs where he was actually coaching. So the Lane train has some work to do, but hey, that could change this year. Who knows? The final name on the honorable mention list. Now I'm torn here. I really wanted to put my guy Rhett Lashley in this list, but he just missed it. The other guy that we had to put on the honorable mention is Mike Elko. So Mike Elko is doing phenomenal things at Texas A&M. Before we talk anything else, from a recruiting standpoint, Texas A&M is stacking top 10 classes after class after class after class. When you do that, you have almost no choice but to be a really, really good football team. So I think right now, 2027 so far, they're the number 1 or top 2. That trajectory has continued over the last 3 years since Mike's been there. Jimbo Fisher did really good at recruiting too. He just couldn't win. Mike Elko is recruiting and winning. That's a big time scary recipe for the state of Texas, because he's going all over the country and getting real guys. Record wise, Mike Elko has been 35-16 over his tenure at Duke and Texas A&M. Really respectable for sure. He was 8-5 and then 11-2 in this last year at Texas A&M, and they made the college football playoffs. So Mike Elko's trajectory over the next 5-10 years for Texas A&M is tremendous. They're going to be a good football team, especially if he keeps recruiting guys the way he's been recruiting, and if he keeps coaching guys the way he's been coaching, because you see what he does on the defensive side of the ball. They have a great offense. They're going places. Are y'all ready for the top 5? Can we get into the top 5? All the honorable mention, that's nice and whatnot. You know, we like y'all as coaches, but these 5 coaches are who I believe are going to take over college football if they haven't already. Some already have over the next 5 to 10 years in regards to winning championships, in regards to always being in the conversation, in the dance. Okay, y'all ready? Let's do it. Starting out at number 5, we have Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame. So listen, when we talk Marcus Freeman, he took over for Brian Kelly at Notre Dame, and he's really hit the ground running. Marcus Freeman since 2022 is 43-11 at Notre Dame, and I feel like so many people seem to forget that Notre Dame just played for a national championship just a couple years ago. Yes, they lost to The Ohio State University, and it wasn't really that close, just being honest. But when we talk Marcus Freeman and we look at what Marcus Freeman is actually building at Notre Dame, he's doing something special. They've got that grit again. They've got that hard-nosed, great defense, dynamic offense capability to them again that Notre Dame used to have way back in the day. So when you look at his recruiting classes in the last 2 years, when they're top 5, top 10, it doesn't even matter what happened in 2022, 2023, because they're surging. Recruits and kids, I say kids, but these young adults, these 18-year-olds and these transfer players that are a little bit older are starting to see what Marcus Freeman is building, and they're buying in and wanting to go to Notre Dame. So as I've always said, when you start to see teams really stack talent, there's no choice but to be really good and have really, really good teams. So one big testament to that is you look at Notre Dame and you see that they've had 19 NFL draft picks in the Marcus Freeman era, and they just had 2 first-round draft picks that played the same position last year. Well, truly just this year, year in the 2026 NFL draft, having your first and second string running back get drafted in the first round, that's unheard of. So when you look at that, you look at all the other players that they've had drafted, they have multiple players that are going to be drafted in the upcoming draft, especially guys like Leonard Moore. Marcus Freeman is at number 5, and I think they're going to absolutely have opportunities over the next 5 to 10 years to compete for multiple national championships, especially if the playoff field stays at 12, because Notre Dame almost gets a guaranteed spot. Notre Dame doesn't need a conference. They're one of the only teams that can truly say that and truly do it. When it comes to conference football, you see the SEC, you see the Big Ten, you see what they've been doing. The Big Ten has won, I think, the last 3 national championships. Well, for Notre Dame, they're always going to be in the conversation because now they get a guaranteed spot at number 12. So there's no way you couldn't tell me Marcus Freeman isn't a top 5 coach moving forward. Notre Dame is going to be in the conversation for years to come. Watch and see what I tell you. At number 4, we have the Super Mario Cristobal down south in Miami. Listen, before you say the U is back, I think Mario would tell you firsthand the U's not back until they're competing for and playing for national championships on a regular basis. But the first piece to the puzzle just happened this year, started last year in 2025. Obviously, the national championship was in 2026. Mario Cristobal makes it to a national championship. The first time Miami has even sniffed this far, into the playoffs and into a national championship since the early 2000s. So we look at Mario Cristobal, and record-wise, 35-19 at Miami. He had a lot of bumps in the road early. I think you have to give credit to Mario Cristobal and doing a great job in regards to being a head coach and being the GM in regards to letting go of coordinators that just weren't working out. When you're not a coach like a Ryan Day or a Lane Kiffin where you call the plays, you call the offense, you got to move like a general manager. You have to be really, really good at making sure if an offensive coordinator doesn't stick, no matter how much you like the guy, how good of friends you are, you got to let him go. Same thing on the defensive side. So now with Corey Heatherman and Dawson, I think Mario Cristobal has something special. I honestly don't think he's going to be able to keep them much longer. So it's absolutely up to him as the GM to either find the next guy or keep these guys as long as they can. When we talk draft picks, Mario Cristobal, 19 NFL draft picks. They had, I believe, 3 NFL draft picks in the first round. In this last draft, listen, when you look at what Mario does from a recruiting standpoint, on this list, he's probably the best recruiter. Hands down. When you can generate recruiting classes off of a losing season, it's a testament to who Mario is as a program builder. The next step for Mario is absolutely going from just having all the draft picks that he's had, because he had, probably even more at Oregon, going to that next step and winning these national championships. He's getting the guys. He's been recruiting at a top 10 level, I think, every single year except for 1 or 2 since he's been at Miami since 2022. So like I always say, if you're stacking talent, the wins are going to stack up as well. You can't have that many good players and not win big games. So it's only a matter of time before Mario wins a national championship, in my opinion. If Mario keeps stacking, especially from the inside out, how he's been doing it, offensive line, defensive line, keeps having these types of guys, these types of monsters. He calls them titans or giants or dinosaurs. That's what Mario likes to call them. Listen, when you have dinosaurs all over the field, you're going to win games, and you're going to win the biggest of big games because your guys are bigger, and we already know Miami got speed. Everybody know the crib got speed. So Mario Cristobal is definitely at number 4. I think over the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to see the U always in the conversation, and I do think they have chips coming, whether it be 2027, whether it be 2028. At some point in the near future, Mario Cristobal, I do feel, is going to get a chip. He's going to get one of those national championships. Okay, at number 3, Ryan Day at The Ohio State University. Listen, Ryan Day early in his career had a lot of haters. It's hard to replace a legend like Urban Meyer. You see Kalen Dabor down there in Alabama dealing with the same type of pressure. That's a hard pressure to replace a legend. Ryan Day shut everybody up a couple of years ago and won a national championship. Listen, Ohio State has always had them dogs. It's just a fact. The ability of Ohio State to recruit guys at the receiver position in particular from all over the country has been second to none. From a recruiting standpoint, Ohio State, I think, has been top 5 since even before Ryan Day got there in regards to recruiting classes every single year. That's why you always see them in the conversation. That's why they're always there and going to be there, because they're not just recruiting Ohio guys. They have a national presence. They have the capability to go get guys everywhere. Take a look at this stat when we talk Ryan Day. Ryan Day has had 50 NFL draft picks and 20 first-round draft picks in his time at Ohio State. That's astronomical. 50 guys to the NFL. 20 of the 50. That means half of the guys drafted have went in the first round. Those type of stats scream fantastic football coach, fantastic manager, fantastic at managing guys going to get other jobs. We're going to see it this year, of course. Brian Hartline just went to USF, and a lot of people are thinking, well, what's the offense going to look like? You'll see. Don't worry about it. You'll see, because that's what Ryan Day does really, really well. He recruits on both sides of the ball, offense, defense, and the guys that he's recruiting that are really good in high school end up being really, really good in college. That's a testament to their development and their capability to not just get guys and place them onto the field based off of talent, but actually develop them, coach them up, and get them to the next level. You're absolutely going to see Ohio State over the next 5 to 10 years compete for multiple national championships, if not win one. Okay, at number 2, we have Kirby Smart, our guy Kirby down there with the Georgia Bulldogs. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. I had to do it. I had to let it out. Listen, Kirby Smart is 51-6 at Georgia. It was so hard not to put Kirby Smart at number 1, and you'll see who number 1 is, and I think that you will agree based off of the recency bias that we talked about at the beginning of the video. But for Kirby Smart, he's absolutely built a dynasty at Georgia. They're absolutely one of those teams that are going to continuously be in the conversation for championships and natties for the next 5 to 10 years. Look at this stat. Just take a peek at the stat when we talk Kirby Smart's win percentage since 2022. 51-6 since 2022. The man's only lost 6 games since 2022. Over 4 years, and Kirby has only lost 6 games, albeit in the almighty SEC, in the Southeastern Conference. Kirby's dominating them boys. He's dominating them boys down there. I think it's really important when we talk Kirby Smart to understand Kirby's not just dominating on the field, he's getting guys to the NFL. Half of the Philadelphia Eagles are Georgia Bulldogs. Look at this stat. This is a beautiful stat. 84 NFL draft picks, 21 first-round draft picks since Kirby Smart has been at Georgia. 84 guys, almost 100 guys that Kirby has put into the NFL. And remember, when you have that many guys going to the NFL, everybody can't be first round, especially when you're playing right next to a guy who is first round. So when you see that many guys getting developed, going to the NFL, without a doubt, Kirby Smart is a true program builder. Kirby Smart did great things when he was at Alabama as a defensive coordinator. Georgia is still one of my favorite defenses to watch. They're always physical. They're always strong. This year, watching them, it was tough because when it got to man-to-man situations, their corners that are usually locked down, at times they got beat a little bit. Go watch the Ole Miss game in the playoffs. That was a tough game on the outside. Regardless of any of that, because this particular video isn't about the X's and O's, it's about the coach. Kirby is another guy who has been fantastic from a program building standpoint at replacing coaches. Kirby's always losing coaches to the NFL, to other colleges, and Kirby has been fantastic at rip and replace, reload. That's what Kirby does, and he's going to continue to do it, and that's one of the biggest reasons over the next 5 to 10 years. Kirby and the Georgia Bulldogs are going to be competing for and probably winning some national championships. And don't get me started on recruiting. Georgia is always top 3. It seems like top 5. It seems like when it comes to recruiting, they get guys from all over the country. They get guys California, Texas, New York, Florida, everywhere you can think of. If you're good, Georgia's going to come after you. That's why Kirby Smart is number 2. And he was dang near number 1. It was close. And finally, at number 1, we got Curt Cignetti. Kurt, the Italian stallion up there at the Indiana Hoosiers. Listen, when we talk Kurt, yes, we have recency bias. He just won a national championship. But take a look at this stat and remember, when we talk Curt Cignetti, you have to also look at the teams and programs he had to rebuild. It's one thing to go to a storied program like Georgia and rebuild it. Listen, Mark Rich wasn't no slouch of a coach, and this is no shade towards Kirby Smart, but Georgia was already humming and getting guys to the NFL. They just couldn't get over the hump. They just couldn't get to the national championships, to the playoffs. When we talk Curt Cignetti and what he did at James Madison and then at Indiana, a program that has never won, who has never been good, even when I was a little kid, Indiana was always the basketball school. That's all you think about when you think Indiana. You never think Indiana and you think football. So since 2022, at James Madison and at Indiana, Curt Cignetti has been 46-6. Let me tell you that again. 46-6 at James Madison and at Indiana University, the Hoosiers, a team that never won a doggone thing. Listen, I think another reason we really have to consider putting and keeping Curt Cignetti at number one for now is because look at the guys he's doing it with. He's been kind of the portal guy, non-existent in high school recruiting when we talk, top 25. Indiana's not there. Now they're getting to that point now. You see after them winning the national championship, they're getting Nick Marshes, they're getting Josh Hoovers, they're getting guys who are really good, especially from a transfer standpoint. But I didn't see them in the top 10, top 15, top 25 recruiting last year for high school guys. So when you see that, that means as a coach, from a coaching standpoint, he's getting guys in as transfer and coaching them up to be good right now. Right now, with a snap of a fingers. So although some of these other coaches on the list historically have better overall records, more draft picks, more guys to the NFL, when we talk true X's and O's and doing more with less, which is what coaching is, right? Coaching guys up, getting them to the league, Curt Cignetti is number one. He's number one. He's here to stay for right now. Anything can happen, things change and things happen. But 46-6 at Indiana and then still having multiple draft picks. So I believe the number for draft picks, it's not that great. It's like anywhere from 12 over the last 4 years at James Madison and at Indiana. But Fernando Mendoza, I love saying that guy's name, he was just the number one overall draft pick. And if you start seeing that trend and trajectory where not only they're winning and doing more with less, now they're getting guys and getting to the league, watch out, man. Indiana is going to start dominating the Big Ten if it gets to a point where not only are they already great coaches who can scheme around not having the best talent, but then they get the best talent. Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Oregon, all them guys in the Big Ten, y'all should be scared. Y'all should be looking at Curt and saying, hold up, Curt, what you doing over there? I need to start figuring out. I need to get in the booth in regards to the film booth and watch what you're doing and copy, steal, cheat. Take some of your schemes, put them into my offense, my defense. Because Curt, by far, in my opinion, watching what he did last year and the year before and his time at James Madison, is the best coach in college football. I want to end with this. Keep in mind, look at the score differential in Indiana in the last 2 years and how they're not just, like he said, they're not just beating teams. They beating the dog water out of them boys. They're beating the dog water out of these teams that they're playing in the Big Ten. Look what they did to mighty Alabama in the playoffs. Indiana is here to stay. They're for real. I love their scheme. I love the way they play. I love the way Curt coaches these guys. And if you watch any of his interviews, he's got this coaching thing down to a whole science. The way he says, we don't practice long. We make sure that our guys are able to rest and recover. And my coaches, his coaches, but this is how he's speaking, obviously, his coaches are able to see their families. You're practicing less and still beating teams up the way you beat these teams up. Listen, Curt Cignetti, number one coach by far in the NCAA. I do believe they will continue to compete for Big Ten championships and national championships for the next 5-10 years to come, as long as they got the Italian stallion, Curt Cignetti. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this type of content related to college football, hey, we're doing it all the time, as much as we can. Every day that's a good day is a good day to talk about college football. So please go ahead, consider subscribing. And if you do like this video, we've got more coming your way. See ya.